You sit down at the start of your day, open up your AI assistant, and ask it to pick up where you left off. Halfway through the prompt, you realize you are explaining a piece of context you already explained yesterday and the day before. The system is brilliant, but the moment you close the window, it forgets everything. For a long time, the standard workaround was to write things down manually. After every work session, you might jot down what you decided, what you learned, and what the AI should remember for next time, packing it all away into neatly organized files and folders. It feels like you are doing your part to keep the work on track, but maintaining a perfectly structured digital filing cabinet does not solve the core issue. Every morning, those pristine notes might as well be written in a language nobody speaks, because the AI's amnesia remains completely intact. The disconnect happens because those meticulously organized notes live entirely isolated from your active workspace. They sit quietly on your hard drive, completely invisible to the version of your assistant that actually needs them to function. Look at how this operates. This schematic shows a glowing node representing your AI, cut off from a static grid of passive folders. Those text files do absolutely nothing unless you manually paste them in. To fix this, we have to stop relying on passive storage. The system needs to actively fetch the missing context on its own. It requires building a mechanism specifically designed to carry what you figured out yesterday directly over to the version of you sitting at the desk today, without you having to manually intervene. Solving this amnesia requires engineering a lossless transmission channel that carries context across time. Building that active machine starts with its architecture. The first requirement is a centralized workspace. This visualization maps out what happens when we gather previously isolated notes into a single environment. When all those loose threads share the same bounded space, the hidden relationships between your daily tasks become visible. The second requirement is viewing notes without disturbing the structure, using aliases and pointers. These project a duplicate view of the original file into a new window. You can examine specific details without altering the source document. By combining a central repository with non-destructive pointers, a static archive becomes a highly fluid map of thought. Architecture alone isn't enough. The third piece of the machine is a behavioral rule. When a durable decision is made, a piece of research finished, a tricky problem solved, save it immediately. Durable notes serve as an instruction manual for your future self, rather than a historical record to be filed away and forgotten. Finally, the fourth and most critical piece of the machine is the automation. This flowchart shows a script monitoring your input. Typing about an active project triggers a logic gate, extracting the matching document from your notes network. This context is quietly injected into the AI's prompt milliseconds before the conversation begins, loading exactly what you need. Adding that back-end plumbing is the precise mechanism that takes a folder of notes you hope to find and turns it into a set of instructions the AI is guaranteed to use. To see this running in the real world, imagine sitting down to finish a small coding task from the day before. Ordinarily, this requires a 5-minute preamble just to catch the assistant up on what the code does, why it exists, and where the documentation lives. Instead, you type a single, completely vague sentence. "What we did yesterday. Let's finish it." The invisible backend immediately recognizes the context. The script grabs the notes detailing your previous session and feeds them directly into the AI before the loading screen even clears. The time gap closes instantly. The AI reads the words, cross-references the background documents, and picks up the exact line of logic where you stopped the night before, running the work without a single piece of human friction. The entire engineered system executed its job in less time than it would take a human to even recall the necessary instructions. A second brain is an automated bridge between work sessions, replacing the passive folder hierarchies where information traditionally goes to sit and be forgotten. There is a distinct psychological relief in opening your workspace and knowing that the notes you wrote into a quiet room are finally speaking to someone who is listening. The context is already there, waiting for you. True AI productivity relies on engineering a reliable, automated context handoff that holds over time.